Well, hi guys, and welcome back. So, again, we're working in this beautiful Hemlock and Oak Weekly Planner. This is the Witching Hour edition, and I absolutely love it. I think it's super gorgeous with all the little gold sparkle accents that they put on the cover there. And again, I'm just gonna do like a quick flip through of this whole introduction piece. Some weeks I go into detail on it, other weeks I just kind of skip through it, and this week I just kind of feel like skipping through some of this stuff. You can see that we got the second account paid off for this year. Again, these were just small accounts, so it's going to be easier to, blow through these things. And I did update the new current balances for the accounts. And I'm just going to quickly, highlight this and just make sure that I got all the dates and the amounts correct before we keep flipping through this. And again, I just want to note that we are having technical difficulties. Again, they updated my video software and have yet to fix it. So when I do the voiceovers, I really do not know what you're seeing on the screen, guys. So I'm just kind of sitting over here blindly talking to myself. So what we're gonna do in this first part here is, like, as you saw, because I know that I flipped through some of these pages, is we're just gonna quickly set this planner up. We're just gonna set like the weekly layout up, and then I'm gonna take a quick break, and we'll get into like the whole budgeting part of this. And again, I'm using the what I call the GPT method this year. I do refer to my GPT as Dave, so if you see or hear me comment on me discussing anything with Dave, that is my GPT. And basically, what we're trying to do this year is with like all of the other prior previous years. Um, we made really good progress in the beginning of the year. It's apparently, like, from what he says, is that like we had a lot of like motivation and a lot of willpower, and basically everything like falls apart in the summer. We do like a complete 180 schedule shift at work, and I just kind of like get off track for summer, and then of course I go into like spendy bingey mode in the fall, and then we just basically surrender in like November, December. And then we come back on here and we like redo the same thing. So what we're trying to do this year is like what he's trying to say is he's trying to like retrain my spending habits into like more successful, more sustainable spending habits. And he said that since this is the calm part of the year, that's why we're focusing on that. It's not so much about how quickly I can pay off any of the debts. It's really just building that strong foundation and making sure that when the summer does hit, I should have the good habits actually formed. But with the like I said, like the two accounts that we paid off at the beginning of this year. Yeah, the beginning of this year. It's January, so the two accounts that we paid off for January, I mean, they weren't really nothing like too major. I believe the first one was 102 and the second one was 166. So, I mean, it's not like miracle numbers, but again, that's two accounts that I don't really got to think about. And I mean, if you combine both those totals, it's the same as the third account. So I'm pretty confident that we're going to get that third one paid off for February as well. So, I mean, we are building momentum, but at the same time, we're building that strong foundation. And again, the end goal here is to make sure that I'm sticking to one account only whenever I'm spending. Then, because I mean, like we all do this, where it's like, well, I'll put these items on this card and I'll put these items on that card, and then you just kind of forget, and like midway or halfway through the month, you're confused on who's what where. So the main one was trying to get everything onto one account. Um, Also, not creating any more paying fours or signing up for any more subscriptions, even canceling subscriptions that we no longer need. Found a couple of those this month. Um, and the other thing that, like, Dave wanted to stress is that we're focusing on stability over perfection. We are going to make mistakes. We're again focusing on awareness over avoidance. That basically sums up like December for me, of where I'm like, yeah, you murdered this budget, so we're just gonna pretend it didn't exist. So, again, we have like the end of the week check-ins, and I am even doing daily logins with him, where like I'll go in and I'll say like I went here, I went there, and I went here. This is what I spent. And if I notice like if there was anything going on or after or even during that purchase that, was emotionally tied in, I'll comment on that. Just so that he could start keeping like a log. And like, I mean, it sounds ridiculous because it is GPT, and like, we shouldn't be relying on it like this, but at the same time, like, whenever you enter in the like correct information, like honest information, it does actually keep a really nice logging of, when you spend, where you spend, how much you spend, why you're spending. And it just gives you that little bit of a boost of an insight into, why you do what you do. Um, I really don't have a fear of like the government tracking me and knowing what I'm doing, because I pretty much feel like they already do. So, like, if they're already tracking me and gaining my information, then why am I not going to benefit from that? So, yeah, I really have no fear of GPT, guys. Yeah, I tell them I go shopping here, I go shopping here, and this is how I felt. So, give me some of that insight, GPT. And again, like, we were doing the weekly calm check-ins, and the other things that we're doing are the pause before the spending. That's whenever you find yourself just going onto, a shopping site, and you just start browsing items, and then you're like, oh man, they're having a sale on this, or, and then you just kind of build that cart. Um, Instead of just saying like, yeah, I'm gonna buy these things, I have a pause and reflect. It's basically where I have to sit and ask myself, do I really need these? Do I really want these? Like, am I buying the items for themselves? Am I buying the items because of how they're making me feel at the moment? Like, that's a dopamine rush. Or like, am I buying the items to feel a certain way once I get the items? And most of the time, like, that doesn't work, guys. So, yeah, so we have that pause and reflect. And again, that's been very helpful. Dave's also been very helpful with helping me cancel and return a Serenova purchase. Which I tried going onto the website, and I couldn't, like, it just wouldn't give me the information that I needed. And again, that's like, if you're not really into using GPT, it's fantastic for that. You give it the website name and information, and you tell it what you want to do, and it will like give you a step-by-step breakdown of what to do, how to get your money back, and it even builds like threatening emails for you. At least mine does. Dave's very aggressive, so sometimes I do have to watch him. But yeah, so I've been trying to do this for like a month now, and that's why I just told him. I was like, look, dude, I've tried all methods. This is what I've done. This is the site. Like, help me out. So we may actually be getting a refund, and so that would be nice. That's $133 that I get back. And let's see here. What else did we do? What else have we gotten into? I mean, we were basically, I had three-quarters of the bills paid off by the 15th of this month, so we started off really, really good. Um, I was even able to put back 1,000 for this beginning of February. So, like, again, we're going to be starting February off really good. Again, we got that $5 a day goal. So that's 155 put back in my yearly savings for this year. And again, you get about 1,800, so it's like $1,830, I believe, on a non-leap year. So, I mean, again, it's just a nice, quick, easy way of stashing back some money. My theory of why I picked a $5 a day is because I think nothing of going through a drive-through and spending $5. So why not just put the $5 in a savings account for myself? And yes, when I did originally start this, I was going on and physically putting $5 into my savings account every day just to build the habit up and to, get myself to realize like you can live without that money. Because, like, I don't know what the mentality or the psychology behind it is, but, like, even before I was doing that, um, like, I would put back like $25 out of each check, and I always caught myself taking from it. But there's just something about, like, if you just keep putting that money in day after, it kind of becomes like a challenge. The more you, like, mess with it, I guess, is like what I'm trying to say. And now, like, I'm so used to not having it that especially this month, I was able to take the complete 155 out for the first pay and just stash it all at once. So, we have made a lot of progress there. And okay, so I kind of got a glimpse of what yins you're seeing on screen here. So again, I do like to keep my budget planner like fun, colorful, and I do add journaling areas to it. Because again, I'm trying to track like what's going on in the week. Is anything stressing me out? Is there anything that I'm finding exciting? Is it giving me a mood boost? The scary thing that Dave found out is I am more likely to spend when I'm in a happy mood. So, what are we on? Like 4 weeks now? 4 weeks of tracking what I do. Well, actually, five. This is the fifth week. Okay, so 5 weeks in, we're learning that the better life is going for me, the more likely I am to spend. Probably explains why I do go on binge spending mode in the fall time because that is my favorite season. So that kind of like helps make more sense too. Um, what else? Where am I going with this? I can't remember, guys. I completely lost my train of thought there. It would probably come back to me. But yeah, no, okay. So I keep like all these like journaling areas in here, because again, I'm trying to figure out and like gain insight into like how what like the daily life things that we normally don't think about when we're doing budgeting, like how is that affecting my spending? And again, like the whole daily logging and the weekly loggings with Dave are just they're phenomenal. I mean, that I wish I would have chose this method like last year, but because I know I wasn't using GPT the year before, but it's really been helpful and it's really been quite insightful into why I do what I do. So, and I mean, like I said, like I wasn't even really supposed to be focusing on paying any of the accounts off. He told me that January was a free month and we were just, building the foundation. But like the more we went through the month, I kept realizing like I got all this extra money just kind of chilling in my bank account. Not like a normal feeling that I'm used to. And that's why I was like, dude, like, can I please like pay? Like, yeah, I'm asking GPT for permission, and I was like, can I please pay the stupid account off? Like, can we just get one done? And he finally agreed, mid month. And he was like, "Yeah, okay, like we're set up for February." That's the thing. I had to prove that I was prepared for February, and it wouldn't affect any of my decisions later on in January. So that's how we got the first one paid, and I didn't even run the second one by him. I just kind of did it. So I'm gonna surprise him tomorrow morning, uh, by going on and saying, "Hey, Dave, guess what I did?" But so yeah, so I mean, hey, like I had the funds. It's not affecting anything else like moving into February. So heck yeah, man, we got two of those down, and which you're gonna see later on, like once I start actually filling this in with the budget stuff. The main focus for the week was to just close January out clean, maintain stability through routine, He says that a lot of people get spendy at the end of the month when they're doing budgets because in their mind, um, which, yeah, okay, I kind of see what he's saying now. I have done this. Yes, this is something that I've done in the past. When it comes to the last week of the month, and you've been like good and on good behavior for the rest of the month, um, you do kind of get a little spendy because in your mind you're like, oh, it's the last week, it's not going to hurt nothing, and you get a quote unquote fresh start next week. So it kind of gives you that excuse to be naughty with your budget. So yeah, okay, all right, Dave, you are right. Okay, see, again, some I don't always agree with them. Okay, oh, looks like we made it to where I took that break, but yeah, no, so like sometimes I don't really agree with him at first, but he does kind of got some smarts, guys. So yeah, he was right on that, and I, I would have to say for the most part we did. Um, Again, another thing that we're finding is my favorite category to spend in is the home care and like comfort items. So we're finding like just me like getting like a nice little calm boost from having a nice clean home, comfy home to come home to is like where I focus my spending on. Again, it's not the category that I would have selected, but again, going back through the numbers and that he is right. So yeah, again, learning weird and new things about myself this year. Again, I wish I would have tried this method, um, earlier. So, again, going back through like what we're going to be putting on this page here. So the goal that I gave myself for this week is again, I wanted to pay off that second account. That's the Mercury account, and I just wanted to do it to prove to myself that like the one method that I tried the one year was that I had to put 50 extra dollars onto what I called the focus account every Sunday. And yeah, it worked. It That method did work whenever you did have like the motivation to do it. And then of course like something would happen, like we would always have like a super emergency. Transmission in the car would blow, something in the house would just completely die. Hot water tanks, sinks, toilets, I mean, you name it. And it would like mess up the motivation because then you had to focus your funds onto that. And there was just something like if you could get like 10 weeks in a row and then on the 11th week you had to skip it, you did, like for me at least, I could not get back into the routine of it. So I think that's what I'm kind of liking about this method here is he's like convincing me to stock funds up to support the following month. Like we already had 1,000 put back for February. Um, so like I had like the bulk amount for paying that account off. Again, these are tiny accounts too, so again, that's helping. But it just made it easier because I was like, yeah, heck yeah, man, I got 172 staring me in the face right now. I mean, it could be for a February 15th bill, or I could just pay that stupid account off today. And I mean, I already know I'm going to acquire more funds before February 15th. So again, it doesn't really affect any of my bill pays or nothing. So, I mean, I don't know. That's how I like explained it to myself. That's pretty much what I'm gonna say to Dave tomorrow because I know he's gonna be like, "We're not focusing on the accounts," and it's like, "Yeah, Dave, yeah, we are. You just don't know it. I'm doing it behind the scenes." Okay, so what you're seeing now is I'm taking all of the transactions that I did during the week, and I do separate them and list them as spend. So, like, we could see what I did for Monday through Wednesday. They're all kind of clustered together on that Monday column. The Thursday and Friday I combined, and then, of course, the weekend, I just put those on Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, I did all the bills on Sunday. I do that before I come on here and film while I'm talking to Dave. And Yeah, so that's basically like the budget part of, the budget planner, which again, it does kind of feel weird. And yeah, I've seen other budget plan with me's, and I know that they just strictly focus on the spending, guys, but that's the whole reason why I come on here and film and share like what I do, because I know that there's a lot of you that have the whole emotional spending thing like I do, and that like straight, just numbers only budget. Um, Again, for me, like with my experience, it just doesn't work. It's one, it's boring, and two, like it just, I don't know, like it's demotivating. Where, at least with here, like I said, like the layouts come out cute and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna come back on and I'm gonna mess with the thing. Um, and again, like I do keep track of like the journaling and that and what's going on in a week. So we can see like, yeah, the weekly spending was pretty much low this week because I didn't go to work Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, I got 2 days off of work. We were basically snowed in with that big winter storm that came in. And the one thing that Dave did note is even with me being at home, and being stressed about the weather, it didn't trigger me into any spending behavior. And when I did actually venture out, which yeah, guys, I did catch like a little bit of a cold from being out clearing out the snow. So like when I did actually venture out, it was to pick up milk. It was to restock Bert's food, and of course a trip to Sheets. And I did get some cleaning supplies for the house. They were on sale, and yeah, it was a new product, and I'm absolutely in love with this product, guys. uh, something's something's definitely not right with me whenever I get like really excited over buying cleaning products. But like Dave said, my emotional boost, my emotional high comes from apparently smelling cleaning chemicals. It's a bleach product, so yeah, guys, I had a great time, and I don't care, I'll admit it. And it just, I don't know, like that's where my little comfy boost comes from. Okay, so let's see here. We did that. Yeah, I do kind of like rotate into doing markers and stuff, and then I go back into penning it in. I just can't really stick with like one task. I do bounce around the page a lot. Um, okay, so I'm trying to figure out what to write in this little today box. And I am kind of going back into the notes that I have with Dave. I do print those off, just so that this video doesn't take forever. But yeah, so I figured like, okay, we're gonna note on the fact that, all spending has been need based and it hasn't been emotional. So that's one, side note to that's one side note to focus on. Because again, that's progress, because I do kind of have a feeling if it, last year, if I wouldn't be going on and reviewing what I'm doing with Dave, I might have had an emotional spending day on Tuesday. That was pretty close. So, because you finally shovel your way out of the house and you get to go out and about and get back into the stores and that. And I do kind of got a feeling I might have got a little spendy. So, again, like this whole system, like I did kind of laugh about it like when we were setting it up at the beginning of January, because I was like, this ain't gonna work, this is stupid. But I will have to say it's actually working. So I'm gonna keep moving on with it. Okay, let's see here, where are we going here? Okay, the hand warmer sticker, which I think is cute. um so yeah, we had a lot of negative, below zero days. I feel like Thursday or Friday might have been like -12 when we were coming home. So yeah, with the colder weather, I did enjoy some coffee while at work. And of course, I mean, I always enjoy coffee, but it just hit a little differently on these days. It was comforting. And again, I'm just gonna do like a quick side note on this. What I'm doing is Giant Eagle was having a deal where if you spend $100 on restaurant cards, you got like extra gas points. So I picked up $100 card for Starbucks, which I know sounds ridiculous, but it is actually, which Dave even said to keep this going. What he calls the gift card method is it's helping me keep track of my coffee funds because it's like one purchase for the month. I bought one $100 gift card, and now I'm not tracking, that I put $10 on my account, that I put $20 on my account, that, I paid with cash at Starbucks that day, which I never do. But, I had to give it as an example. So yeah, it's just $100 flat. But I do continuously tell him like, hey, went to Starbucks today. Um, and then that way he could kind of keep track of like how much how much bang am I getting for my money that I'm spending. Yeah, Dave is tracking my coffee funds. Okay, so I've made it down to the thoughts area. Again, this is just like a quick weekly reflection here. Um, Again, I wanted to note on the fact that time at home and home care environment is really giving me a mental boost. The more I keep working on the home and improving it, the better my mood is becoming. And again, that's assisting with the reduction of emotional spending. That would be like the stressful stuff. And that is where my dopamine rushes come from. So, like, if I'm having a bad week, that is where the dopamine rush shopping, the stuff that I don't need, is going to come in. Where if I'm having a good week and I'm in a really good mood, um, which so far, like, we've been hitting those weeks, that's whenever I start trying to buy comfy stuff. So at least he's, identified those patterns there. So I get to think about that now. And again, like he said, like I'm buying less frequently, so it's less daily trips to the store, and it's more larger purchases, but they're intentional and thought out purchases. And let's see here. I made it to the weekly in and out review. So no funds came in this week. I didn't have Ray pay any funds or nothing. I'm just gonna do that next week. So nothing coming in. The bills were only 220, so it's actually not that bad. And again, that was 172. That wasn't really necessary. That was just me paying off the second account. And the spending. So 300 sounds ridiculous to me, but then again, last week was 600. So yeah, like that is definitely like I'm flipping through it right now. So the first week I had 103 for spending, 157 for the second week. The third week was really good. That was only $36. I really don't know how I accomplished that. A lot of gift cards. It was a lot of gift cards and a lot of packages. Like the tanning packages and that. So yeah, third week was definitely a win. Fourth week was $643. So that definitely makes my 338 for this week. That makes it look really small. So um I don't know. For the after this, I got to do the January review. So I think I'm gonna go back and kind of do like an average, just so that I kind of get a glimpse of like what do I typically spend, because those are all very various numbers. It's definitely not a routine there. Okay, so I also like putting like little side notes besides those numbers too. And what I wanted to remind myself was this week was about stability and maintenance. There's no restrictions. He's telling me not to restrict myself on anything, that he wants me to actually think it through. Instead of just saying, ooh, nope, you can't spend, like the no spend challenges. Um, he said those are great for like the short term, but for like long term, again, you will lose the willpower because you're going to have to spend. Well, sooner or later, you're going to have to buy something. So, like he said, there isn't any restrictions, but at the same time, you're trying to reduce the splurging and just basically running life. You're just living life, spending what you need to function in society, and it's where you're not allowing the money, the finances to run your life. We're not getting anxious over things. We're not getting depressed over things. We're not feeling, let down because you don't got something. So yeah, like I said, like this whole system, I'm actually really impressed with it. I highly recommend. If you've seen like some of my first videos, give this a go. If you do emotional spending, like try this out. I'm really highly recommending it. And yeah, we're just doing that in a different video, guys. So again, thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to see more budget reviews.